guys, welcome back to my channel. Tonight I have a pretty short video for you with this series. This is really just a pre-film video that I've done while I'm overseas, which if you're watching this now, I probably am overseas at this stage, so I've still got videos going up on my channel. And this was kind of like a last minute thought actually, because I did need an extra video and I haven't got that many requests for topics this time around, so I've really just got a couple that I'm going to talk about tonight, and yeah, it shouldn't probably take too long, but anyway, I'll get on with the editing. And yeah, so the topic that I'm going to talk about first tonight will be on networking. So I did get asked how do I network usually, and networking these days is a little bit different because we have such a huge influence with social media these days, and online, being just having a presence online is just so big, and networking is a little bit more difficult to do in person these days, as compared to 20 years ago. So a lot of my networking is done online. I think it's important to think outside of the box when you are networking. So even if it means cold calling, that is a really good way to go. And by cold calling, I mean really contacting people, generally by email. I don't always call people. Generally contacting designers or fashion brands that are maybe in my area or close by, and contacting them to collaborate. So whether it be on a future shoot, like a test shoot, or something for your portfolio, and just to really make those contacts, because they are very important in the fashion industry. As you can see with fashion photography, generally the focus is going to be on the clothing, so they're really good contacts to make in that sense. So that's one way I like to kind of think outside of the box when I'm networking, because as I said, it is harder these days to really network without just doing the main thing on social media and commenting on people's pictures and things like that. It's kind of like a very basic way of networking these days that seems to be very popular, but cold calling is still a really good way to go. And another way that I really like to network with doing fashion photography is when I'm traveling. So whether it be domestic or internationally, I usually just wherever I'm going, if I'm going on like a holiday, or maybe I'm going away with Dan because obviously he does travel photography, so I might be going away with him for a few days, I will try and always organize a photo shoot, so wherever I go. And usually that involves contacting a modeling agency in the area and saying, I'm going to be traveling between this date and this date, and would you mind, if I did a test shoot with one of your models? And most of the time, I haven't received a no yet, which is pretty encouraging. So I would definitely recommend for any aspiring fashion photographers out there, if that's something that you're interested in doing, then yeah, if you travel a bit, definitely a great way to make contacts is by doing that. And usually I'll say to the agency as well, is there any makeup artists you can recommend? And they usually do have a few that they can either recommend or tell me someone that I can contact in the area. And that really helps too, because then you've got another contact that you made, not just with the agency and the model. You're making contacts with either hairstylists or designers or makeup artists. So it's a really good way to make contacts. I've done that, I've done it quite a few times before. So I've done it in Hong Kong before. I've done a photo shoot over there. However, I did do that through someone that I already knew, who is actually a photographer now, but she did a bit of modeling when she was a bit younger as well. And so I made some contacts over there in getting a makeup artist on board as well. I've done one in New Zealand when I went over with a couple of my photographer friends, and one of my photographer friends who is a fashion photographer as well, she likes fashion photography too, we kind of did a big collaboration together. So we got a couple of models from an agency in Christchurch and we did a photo shoot there. So it was really a lot of fun, and we made quite a few contacts over there too. So that was good. And where else have I done photo shoots before? I've done quite a few in Melbourne when I've travelled down there before. And I've also done one in Adelaide as well when I've travelled there. And yeah, so I try to organise a photo shoot wherever I go, because it's kind of fun too, doing it that way. You kind of get to shoot in a different location, completely different area, which is always good for me. I find that very inspiring, traveling and photographing in different locations. So I always find my pictures turn out, you know, I'm a little bit happier with them when I'm traveling and going to new places. So yeah, I would definitely recommend doing that. And don't be scared. Like, if you haven't done that sort of thing before, don't be scared in doing that, because if you've got a bit of a portfolio behind you, then it shouldn't be really a problem at all to do something like that. If you're wanting to contact an agency, just do it. I know it's a bit scary and a bit intimidating at first, but if you do it, it's generally a really good thing for your portfolio. And as I said, your contact list, you'll make a few contacts out of it. So, and then obviously in turn that will give you exposure to different demographics. So obviously, like when I went to Hong Kong and did a couple of photo shoots, I got a lot of followers on my Facebook page very soon afterwards that were all from Hong Kong, because they'd seen the photos that I'd taken of this girl, and yeah, they were interested in seeing more of my work. Same thing happened with, I think, Melbourne as well, and even New Zealand. So it's definitely something that I would recommend, and yeah, definitely a good thing for your portfolio. And that's what I was going to talk about mainly with networking, but as I said, I wouldn't mind doing a video actually that was a little bit more in depth on that topic, so maybe I can do something like that when I get back from overseas next week. And my second topic for today was going to be on earning money from fashion photography. So this one I'm definitely going to do, I think, a more in-depth video on later on too, because I think that there's probably a lot to be said on the topic. Okay, so ways of making money from fashion photography. There are a lot of ways you can, but it all depends, I guess, on the area that you live in as well, what you have to focus on, especially starting out. I find that one of my main earners for the place that I live in, because it's not a big city, I find my main earner is model portfolios. Oops, my thing just stopped recording. That's really annoying. I've just been doing a bit more dodging and burning. But anyway, as I was saying, my area is more geared towards smaller commercial shoots. A lot of the big advertising jobs and that sort of thing won't be around in the area that I'm in. They tend to be in Sydney. And my main earner is going to be like generally model portfolio shoots for this area. So generally there's like a lot of aspiring models around my area. So obviously when they go to an agency for the first time, they need some photos to show. So that's when, you know, they might contact me and hire me for that sort of thing. Generally speaking, there are lots of ways to earn through fashion photography. So yeah, there's advertising shoots and campaign shoots. So they will usually earn you a little bit more money. There is e-commerce, which is a little bit more on the simpler side of things. So yeah, generally these types of shoots won't have as much creativity kind of going into them. They're usually going to be for maybe an online store or even just a local fashion brand or an international fashion brand, you never know. And they might just need really plain, simple shots of their clothing for probably online purposes. Lookbook is kind of a step up from that, and that's more a little bit more creative, but yeah, that's another way you can make money. Another way to make money from fashion photography is by doing stock photography, and this is a really good option if you've got like a lot of photos on your hard drive that is, you know, that aren't being utilized, because magazines a lot of the time will pay for photos like stock photography to be used in them. So that's also a really good way to do to make money from fashion photography. So yeah, definitely something I would recommend. I've recently just signed up with a stock agency, so I'll let you guys know how that turns out and whether it's maybe worth your time. I have heard that stock photography is very hard to get into, but I guess if you've got, you know, a bit of a flair for getting variety in your images, and yeah, it's achievable, and it's something that a lot of photographers can probably do just on the side to make money. So I'd say they're the main ways to earn from fashion photography, but there are a lot of ways, and as I said, I will do something that's a little bit more in depth, I think, in the near future. And I think I'm nearly finished here. Okay, let's do a before and after. This is, as I said, just a really quick edit today. Let's see what we have here. So this is the original and this is the finished product. So I just did a really simple edit today, something that doesn't take too long, I guess, for the purpose of this video. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully have a few more longer videos up soon. But thank you guys very much for watching as usual, and I'll see you next time.